So with our handsome Mr. T, we're going to practice a little bit with some find its. Ready?
Am I really handsome?
You're very handsome. So Ebba is also going to be our helper. So Mr. T is practicing doing some lovely find its, and then we're going to warm up with some recalls. So Teddy, come. Yes, what a good boy. He's also a little bit winded because we were just doing a little bit of play earlier with the flirt pole, and he had some lovely zoomies as well. So he's nice and exhausted from running around. Ready? Teddy, come. So obviously, practicing as other things are going on can be helpful for generalization of skills. So a lot of times, as sometimes Ebba is off doing her own thing, we would have then Mr. T working through some skill sets. So Teddy, come. Yes, nice job. So this way, he's getting comfortable sometimes being asked to do other behaviors as something else is happening on the back burner. So Ebba's also getting some exercise by doing some running. Ready? Find it. I don't think he saw that one. Ready, Teddy? So if you're doing find its in the house and he's not quite sure where it went, obviously you can let him go and try to forage and find it with his sniffer, but sometimes it can help them to toss another little goodie in the direction you were hoping. Ebba, do you mind showing him where the snacks are over there? He's maybe not sure where they went, so we're going to help him out a little bit. So I'm going to toss some extras over there. So if, let's say, when you throw find its, excuse me, that tickle is driving me crazy. Hi, my love. So when Mr. T is practicing, if he does lose a find it, you can always regain his focus, ready, find it, and try to send it in the direction of where the other snacks once were. So that way he might even get like a little jackpot of some extra find it items off in the distance. Remember, this is a great way to both mentally and physically kind of get your puppy tired, but also a great way, like we've discussed, about bringing them back into your space. So ready? Nice job, Teddy. So if he comes and checks in on his own, I would feed him for that little response. If, let's say, the find its are a little difficult, I know the floor is black, so sometimes the treats that are a bit darker blend with the flooring, and then he has to end up using his nose versus just only his eyes, and at times his nose. Find it. So again, Teddy, come. So right now, my littlest one is going off to, I think, grab some more water, and he heard the fence kind of open up and close. So sometimes when he gets a little distracted, we want to see if we can bring him through the distraction and see if he can still be functional. Teddy, come. Yes, what a good boy. So sometimes I like throwing in some of your easier skills while other things are happening. So Ebba's here helping a little bit. Ebba, did you want to do some find its? Or no, you're good? Okay. So Teddy will just kind of work a couple of these little moments where he goes and gets distracted, and then Teddy come. So remember too, while practicing some of these moments where your puppy's checking in, make sure you're not working so many that your puppy gets overtired and it again turns into more of a chore than a fun, oh my goodness, chewing and walking, instead of a fun adventure into practice. Ready, find it. Nice. So again, this is really helpful for recall practice as well as reorienting back to you. Teddy, come. And of course, we have Ebba running around doing her usual 4-year-old activities, which is, again, great practice for Mr. T to sometimes see the distraction of another little human and then still hone in on me instead. So we may get a little sit from him if it's possible. Ready? Nice. And I notice that he tends to pop out of his sit really fast. I want to start making sure that while I'm feeding, the caboose is still on the floor. So I know at times I might have marked it yes and then fed, but then his little bum, popped up. So I want to make sure we start to build in that a sit is when your bum is on the floor. It's one of the neighbors. They dropped, I think, I don't know, something metal on the floor. Ready? Find it. So obviously throughout the day, we have the different noises from different parts of the building. Yes. We also have, for example, the trucks that drive by, which I know we've mentioned prior. So when we're getting these lovely little sits, I'm just trying, so notice how his little bum pops up. I want to see if I can get that little sitting position, but hold it there. So sometimes feeding a little bit higher above his head, that's a nice crunchy one, part of his kibble. Because if he gets in the habit of thinking sit as you hold it for a second and then pop up, the sitting position may not be the thing he thinks you like. He might think it's the quickly getting up from the position. So remember, in the beginning, you want to feed for being in the position or in the behavior to help reinforce that that is the part of the skill that you wanted. So again, we'll do another little find it. Water break, that's fine. Yes. So if, let's say, sometimes I can't say his name in the recall word, but he technically is already heading in my direction, I'm still going to feed for all the moments he's doing the correct or the appropriate skill set. Teddy, come. Yes, what a good boy. That's okay. Nice job. Good boy, Mr. T. So obviously working these lovely recalls, he's been doing a real nice job. Mom was mentioning she was practicing some of this bounce back from the environment with a find it back to her. But then she also mentioned that she and her husband were also working with bouncing back and forth between the two people. So I do sometimes like to practice that too, almost like where they become the ping pong ball to the two paddles, and he's working back and forth between the two people. That can be a nice exercise to also do with multiple family members. But if you're doing multiple family members, we want to make sure that each individual member takes their turn. If, for example, everybody's squealing, hey, so-and-so, and then the recall word, your puppy may not be able to participate because of the fact that they're hearing everybody talking at once. Hi, my love. What's up?
I'm just hanging out.
Just hanging out? Okay, very nice. Teddy. Don't worry, he's coming. And that's all right, we can tidy up. Sometimes every once in a while, as I've mentioned prior, this used to be a doggy daycare for almost 10 years before I had moved in. He did do a little pee, but don't worry. So as I mentioned to a lot of my students, we will clean it up. 1 second. So for a lot of my students with their puppies, for example, or their dogs, is they will smell, ready, Teddy, places where other pups have been. And then from there, even though I've done my darndest to clean, they'll still pick up on these aromas. And he says, someone definitely peed in this corner. Ready? Find it. So again, remember that urine and fecal, I know it's nothing that we like to talk about, is a way of communication. No, I think it's just from puppies. I had a puppy that peed over there another day. So remember that for dogs, just like with most animals, urine and fecal matter are technically a form of communication. It also lets other dogs, let's say, for example, they're picking up on, again, the male trail, which could be odors. So they, for example, are picking up on, is it another male? Is it a female? What's their health like? Are they in season? So obviously some of this information not relevant for every dog, but it could be one of those situations where, again, when you're feeling a little apprehensive or he's a little bit anxious, a little unsure, going and he's like, now great, I will go sniff it again. Ready? Teddy. Nice job. So we'll do another, we'll find it. So going to the restroom in this environment is very much like an indoor dog park. So even though I've done my darndest, and my husband too, for tidying up and cleaning and sanitizing, remember that your dog's sense of smell. No, I'm talking about the puppy. So your puppy's sense of smell is so acute that they can, for example, and I'm not saying every dog is like this, but they could pick up, oh, we dropped one. They can, let's say in a stadium full of tennis balls, and let's pretend that all those tennis balls are yellow, then technically, let's say we placed a blue ball into that lovely big stadium full of yellow tennis balls. Imagine those tennis balls are almost like odor molecules. Your pup would be able to pick up on that one blue tennis ball compared to all the yellow. So I'm not saying that every dog is this honed in with their capabilities. But remember that certain dogs can be trained to, for example, find cancer, now identify COVID. Obviously, we know they do well with bomb or drug dogs as well and other illegal substances for safety reasons. So a lot of times, your babes, especially coming into this type of environment where it's very dog-tastic, they could, again, pick up aromas where someone else has previously used the restroom, and then your puppy adds to it. So if you're having, excuse me, this tickle in my throat. If you're having house training difficulties still with your babe, do reach out. There could be moments, excuse me, where it could be, Abba, let's just be nice and gentle, walk around the puppy, okay? Excuse me. It could be moments where there could be a health issue going on. So ready, Teddy, come. So if, let's say, for example, your puppy is now all of a sudden regressing and they're an adult dog, or they've been doing really well with their house training, is then at that situation, it could be a health issue. So I always like to rule out medical. One second, Abba. I always like to rule out medical in the sense of UTIs or something that could be causing your pup to have trouble with the house training. Teddy. Yes, nice job. So we'll give Mr. T a little break from this. He's doing great with all the distractions technically around him, and he's able to still reorient back to me, hone in on me versus my little one, and doing a really nice job with those recalls. So nice job, Mr. T. So we'll give Mr. T a little break from the recall practice with those find its, and we'll work a few other skills.